And here's the thing about OVHO Nation complaining about Kendrick having shots at Drake throughout this album. He can do that because he won the battle. All right. Drake has been taking subliminal shots and doing sneaky stuff behind the scenes and taking shots at Kendrick for 10 years, all over a record in Control, where 90% of the people named in the record didn't take it any kind of way. This dude was crying and whining about it, has declared war on Kendrick Lamar ever since then. And now he can't throw shots at him after beating him thoroughly in a battle. Come on now, y'all, OVHO Nation, y'all gotta quit crying about this. He's going to take his shots at Drake. He should take shots at Drake. And what y'all need to do, instead of whining about it on social media, is yell at your boy, say, hey now, wake up, turn your TV off, get in the booth, get back in the booth, and squabble up. Or otherwise, just let it go. Quit with the IG posts and the sneak social media posts and the backhanded business dealings and shutting down people's concerts and suing the record label and all this nonsense he's doing. All right? He deserves to get dissed more, and that's what Kendrick is doing. But let's continue. All right, let's get into it. The long-awaited lyrical breakdown for Hey Now. I'm sorry this took so long, but we here now. Now, of course, this is a record off of Kendrick Lamar's GNX album released this November 22nd of 2024. Still on the Billboard charts, as all 12 of the songs from the album are still on the Billboard charts. So let's break these lyrics down. So Kendrick starts out. Hey now, say now, I'm all about my yen. Big face Buddha, get my peace from within. So of course, yen is Japanese currency / money. And then he says, big face Buddha, get my peace from within. Now that's kind of layered a little bit because he's talking about I get my currency or my worth, my value from within, right? As far as Buddhism is about going within. He's mentioned that before in other verses. Also, big face Buddha, Angkor Wat, which is one of the oldest Buddhism temples in Asia, has Afro-Asiatic statues, that big face Buddha being one of them. So that also has ties to ancient African civilization. Of course, Kendrick always putting those Easter eggs in his lyrics as far as our culture is concerned. So that's what that could be a reference to. Now, when he says, send the kites to all my dirties in the pen, we'll let the honorary walk for the win. Of course, that's freeing the people who are in jail unjustly as he sees it. And also his lyrics and music being a message to them, you know, send the kites to all my dirties in the pen. So he's always keeping them in mind, I guess is the best way to put that, when he's purveying his message throughout his music. Now, when he gets into this part, this is where it starts to get a little messy, right? You crash out, then you better break the backboard. I got friends hoping that they make the tabloid. You know, the last one figured he was Magneto. You play God, you gonna get what you asked for. Now, he's going, these basketball references and the shots references, so to speak, right? He's gonna come back to these in the second verse, but this is kind of basic, right? You crash out, then you better break the backboard. Okay, crashing boards is rebounding. Also, breaking the backboard tends to either end the game or delay the game, so to speak. So you better go all out if you're going to crash out on me, so to speak, right? The next line, I got friends hoping that they make tabloids, is talking about the people he runs with. Again, his street credibility and ties were questioned during the battle. It could also be, this is a reach, a shot to people like Game, right? Who kind of clout chase a little bit. But I do think that that's a reach. I don't think Kendrick's really taking any shots at Game. I don't think he feels any kind of way towards Game, really. Now, when he says, you know, the last one figured he was Magneto. Again, now Magneto controls metal and can repel shots. When you shoot at Magneto, you know, it doesn't mean anything. You know, the bullets come flying back at you, so to speak, right? And for my people who are not Marvel heads or know anything about Marvel comics, Magneto is a villain of the X-Men. Okay, so that's a superhero reference, so to speak. So when he says you play God, you're gonna get what you ask for. Of course, he's talking to the sixth god Drake, so to speak, right? In again, not in a direct way, but in a this includes you too type of way, right? So when you make life-changing decisions like crime, right? Because all my dirty's in the pen. Also the battle, etc. When you get a little too big for your britches and you try to play God and try to control too much, you're gonna get what you ask for, which is to be humbled. And shout out to that hit record, which was a message to somebody who was trying to play God. So go back and listen to that record and it becomes clear. All right, so then he goes, we got the same 24, what you mad for? I put a square on his back like I'm Jack Dorsey. Now, of course, we got the same 24 hours in a day. So just because I had records ready and you didn't, or I have more quality and validity to my records, because I hear there's a lot of artists who kind of take backhanded shots at Kendrick and TDE because the musicality and the producers and the work and the singers and everything that they have, well, it's not their fault that they put a lot of effort into their music and they take their time with their music. You know, people kind of act like it's not fair that they have that. That doesn't even make any sense. You know what I'm saying? You have to put more effort into your records. So that lyric can go towards a lot of people out there in the industry. Let me just put it that way. Now, when he says, I put a square on his back like I'm Jack Dorsey, this is a layered bar right here, okay? Square, Jack Dorsey, first of all, is the founder of Twitter, but he owns 2 other companies. He has a company called Square and Block. They're both financial tech companies. And Jack Dorsey has a good relationship with Kendrick Lamar and also is kind of an enemy of Drake due to Drake trying to steal his female or something like that. Some kind of rumors like that. So the square that he's putting on his back, of course, is Drake, right? But he's also using the reference to Jack Dorsey for that very reason as well. So that bar was extremely fire right there. But then he continues, it's high beams if I make a public appearance. Go back to hiding because I'm not too friendly with ninjas. 1-1000, 2-1004. The black Noah, I just strangled me a goat. So of course, everyone knew who he was talking about then, right? So first, if it's high beams if I make a public appearance, is not only talking about him having security and being protected, but it's also talking about when he does make a public appearance, it stops everything. You know, it creates a moment, as Drake once said before, that Kendrick is just good for creating moments. However, Good Kid, Mad City has been on the charts for 12 years since it's been released. So I don't know how true that is, but then he explains why he does just only appear every now and then, go back and hiding because I'm not too friendly with ninjas. Then, okay, this bar is layered right here when he says 1-1000, 2-1004. Now, of course, that's 2004. Now, 2004 is a important year for the career of Aubrey Graham because it's the year his character on Degrassi, Jimmy Brooks, was paralyzed in a scene where he was attacked with a firearm, right? In 2004, if you add it up, it's also 6. Drake is the 6th god. So that bar is layered right there. And then when he continues with the black Noah, I just strangled me a goat, without getting into all the biblical history of Noah, Noah was tasked with also choosing certain type of animals as burnt offerings to God. So sometimes he would have to strangle. Now the goat as of now, of course, goat, greatest of all time, but the goat, the animal, can also be a representation of the devil, so to speak, right? So now we get into why he references that, because he says, I walked in with a therapeutic flow, put a few hundred up, let him go, let him go. Now, therapeutic flow would be Meet the Grams. That's a reference to that because it's like he was taking Drake and his family through a therapy session. But also it references Kendrick's album, so to speak, in general, especially Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, because he was going through therapy in Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and a lot of his messaging throughout his career and throughout his songs are therapy to people who are from his culture and beyond. So now when he gets into the second part of this verse, he kind of changes his style a little bit and starts to have a little more fun. And he says, hey now, say now, I done slid on they backstreet, heavy on the Parmesan, everyday tax season. Now to me, when he says, I done slid on they backstreet, to me, it's a double reference to, you know, if you slide on somebody, you come around the back, so to speak, you know, sneak up on them. But Backstreet also could mean a pop reference to the Backstreet Boys, a pop band, kind of a put together industry creation, right? So if you reference Drake as the same thing, I done slid on a Backstreet, the industry's creation, so to speak, Backstreet Boy, Drake. Also, Kendrick's success has been unexpected due to his approach to his art. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't really pander to kind of the dumbed down industry, what the industry wants. He's taken messaging and been very successful at it. So that's when you get to the heavy on the Parmesan, everyday tax season. You know what I'm saying? I've made a lot of money doing it the way I wanted to do it and the way I'm doing it. And of course, cheese, Parmesan equals money. Now, he says, what the F you wearing, bro? It's tacky, laying on their deathbed, trying to match me. So this is Kendrick letting us know that he's aware of the trolling that Drake does on Instagram with the model poses. Now, this is something nobody ever really picks up on, is that Drake started doing that or does that, especially with the weird face and all that, trying to make fun of Kendrick and, you know, Kendrick appearing in the fashion magazines and such, right? Now, one account that's alleged to be Kendrick's burner account, Jojo Ruski, is where he posts a lot of those fashion pics and things like that, where he's in the magazines, a lot of artful just pictures in general, which is what Instagram is for. So that's what the what you wearing, bro, is tacky line is about. Now, laying on a deathbed trying to match me is layered because it's talking about that, right? The mimicking of him, but it's also talking about rappers mimicking Kendrick's style in general, trying to make music like he makes it, trying to make albums that mimic Good Kid, Mad City. There was a lot of people who did that mimicked To Pimp a Butterfly, etc., etc. You'll probably see people follow this path as well, as far as mimicking what he's doing with GNX and whatever he does to follow that up. But it also could reference the way Drake couldn't really keep up with him in the battle as far as dropping records and dropping songs. So laying on their deathbed trying to match me. Those bars can encompass all of those things. So then when he continues, oh my God, I'm about to do the fool. They screaming out P, but their resume is boof. Switch both lanes, the engine sound like a zoo. Need a feed just to breathe. Boy, I can't talk to you. Okay, now when he says, I'm about to do the fool, he's kind of referencing Watch the Party Die. Because the next line, they be screaming out P, but their resume is boof, right? Now P means vagina. I gotta keep it clean for YouTube. Boof is slang for booty, right? Just to put it mildly, so to speak. Okay, the original, I know y'all use boof, the young people use boof for a lot of things, but it really comes from, let's just say, prison sex, all right? So, you know, on the surface, he's saying they be screaming out P, but their resume is boof. That could be seen as, you know, your music is not that good. But also it could be, you know, you try to portray yourself as one way, but behind the scenes you are the other way. Watch the Party Die, Meet the Grams, etc. All kind of references these things and these lifestyles. We know what's happening in the industry, across the industry. So that to me is what that bar really references underneath. Now, when he says switching both lanes, the engine sound like a zoo, that's self-explanatory. Now, need a feed just to breathe, boy, I can't talk to you. Now, he's talking about his status. He's talking his ish throughout this whole record. He's talking about his status and why he doesn't just talk to everybody. And that's, I think, why Kendrick gets a lot of hate as well. Is because, like he said earlier in the verse, he's not friendly with these randoms. And them screaming out P and their resume being boof is a reason, if you're not down with the weirdo activity, it's a reason not to be friendly. Because it's not about, you know, people's lifestyle choice. It's the fact that they hide it. And that if you hide that and you hiding who you are, then you can't be trusted, period. So that's what I take from those set of bars. And then he continues, it's the Ben Frank murderer, Mr. I Ain't Heard of Ya, Gulf streams back to back, flying through the turbulence. Who is he? Free lunch, crab services, throw yo out the rental if I smell nervousness. Now, of course, Ben Frank murderer, Mr. I Ain't Heard of Ya, that's self-explanatory, getting money. Gulf streams back to back, flying through the turbulence. Gulf Streams is a brand of PJ's private jets. Now, when he says, who is he? Free lunch, craft services. Craft services is the food, catered food, basically, mainly for like movie sets and performances of any type, really. So when he's saying it's free lunch, you know, if somebody's free lunch, they easy work, so to speak. So that's why he would throw you out the rental if he smells nervousness. Now, when he goes, hey, now, sit down, let me pop my ish, water down my wrist. I'm around my chick. It's a green light. Don't get out of bounds. I'm a bliss. It's a bird. It's a plane. Yeah, it's all blue strips. Now, of course, water down my wrist means put ice on your wrist. Ice is diamonds. It's a green light. Don't get out of bounds. I'm a bliss. If it's a green light on anything, it means it's a go. If you're on a mission, like a mission to save hip hop, not commit violence. Shout out to all my Fed commenters out there. When it's a green light, it's a go. That means, you know, and that means I'm a blitz. Of course, that's a football term for blitzing the quarterback. And of course, it's a bird, it's a plane, no, it's all blue strips. Blue strips is another term for blue face $100 bills, money, right? And also JetBlue, you can say that's wordplay there as well. Now, when we get to the breakdown in the song, it's layered, right? And he uses these references for what could be seen as various reasons. Okay, so then he starts, I'm way too important to ever let you slide on me again. Then he gets with the starting to see spaceships on Rosecrans. I see the aliens hold hands. They want to see me do my dance. I let them watch me do my dance. Okay, so when he says I'm way too important, he's talking about to the West Coast and the hip hop in general, but mainly to the West Coast, as he's alluding to the starting to see spaceships on Rosecrans is an interpolation of Young Jeezy song, Starting to See Spaceships on Bankhead, which comes from D4L. I think it's D4L, one of the Snap groups from Atlanta. So in this part, to me, Kendrick, and throughout the song, Kendrick is talking about leading that type of kind of revolution where a lot of Atlanta artists kind of took over hip hop, so to speak. He's kind of leading that same thing for Compton, for LA, and for California and the West in general. And that's why he's way too important to ever let you slide on him again, right? Shout out to those who are trying to slide on him again. But we all know no round twos. So anyway, The styling of the breakdown comes from Parliament Funkadelic, okay? Now, Parliament was a big influence on Outkast. It's also a big influence on Kendrick's music as well. If you listen to Pimp a Butterfly and the West Coast sound in general, there's a lot of Parliament. They use a lot of Parliament samples. They use a lot of Parliament stylings. And I think this is why Kendrick uses and TDE uses a lot of real musicians, as far as Thundercat, as far as Kamasi Washington, Jason Martin. You know, jazz, funk is real advanced music, right? You have to really understand harmonies and rhythms to be able to play it, to be able to understand it, to be able to feel it as well. You have to be able to feel the funk. It's real deep African-American music. A lot of people, that's why To Pimp a Butterfly wasn't really received super well by some people, because it was funky and everybody just cannot feel the funk. Let's just be honest. And that's where the alien reference comes into play, okay? George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic had the mothership. They would do a lot of referencing to us being aliens, so to speak, or our spirit not being of this planet, because everybody cannot feel the funk, all right? Without getting too deep into it and going off topic. That's what that's kind of referencing when you get AT-aliens with Outkast, same thing. So now when he gets to the next line, he says, they want to see me do my dance. Now, Do My Dance is two records from LA. One record by Tyga featuring 2 Chainz. And we know Tyga, when they were both on Young Money, had some issues with Drake. And it's another record, a recent record by Compton Ave featuring Jason Martin and Zoe Osama. It's a fairly recent record, good record, so check it out. But that's 2 more Compton references. Do My Dance, Kendrick again with the layered bars there. And this could also be, I let him watch me do my dance. When he says that, that could also be a reference to everybody watching him sort of put the West Coast on his back and also change hip hop back to more of a creative form and less of a repetitive kind of rhythmless kind of same beats, same flows, no lyrics, all of that, just uncreative, just totally uncreative, totally plastic, totally bland kind of art form hip hop is kind of turned into. You see it turning more soulful, more creative, more funky, and Kendrick is now spearheading that, I believe, with this release of this album and the release of future music to come. So now let's get right into him and Dody, first going back and forth and then Dody's verse. So Dody comes in, who the F I feel like Joker, Harley Quinn in the cut with a blower, ish gets spooky every day in October, my torpedo even jumped out on smokers, J-Cat, that's Kendrick's part. Okay, so of course the Joker Harley Quinn reference is a reference to creating chaos, so to speak. Now, spooky every day in October. Of course, Drake is known as October. OVO is October's very own. Okay, of course, Halloween, spooky. We get that, that's simple. My torpedo even jumped out on smokers. Torpedo is another slang term for firearm. So you're jumping out on smokers. J-Cat, again, watching the party die. Smokers, I think, is the drug-using rappers that he's talking about, various. One in particular, of course, but like he said in Whacked Out Mirrors, they all can get it. Now, Dody comes back, and we mean muggy ninjas. Dody too important. If they talking about playing ball, me and my team gonna get the scoring. Kendrick comes back. If they talking about playing ball, they can take it up with Jordan. It's ball heads and the heckler for all endorsements. So again, they're staying with the sports scheme, but also, okay, to break this down, when he says they can take it up with Jordan, okay, and then he follows into with the ball heads, right? Ball heads is another term for ammunition. And of course, Michael Jordan's head was bald. Michael Jordan is also the greatest basketball player of all time. So not only is he referring to himself as being the greatest, right? He's also saying if they talk about playing ball, you can take it up with the ammunition instead of with me. And for all endorsements, that means for everyone who's also endorsing the ops, so to speak, right? Or everyone who's standing behind them. So if anybody's talking about any kind of competition, which Dody leads in, if they talking about playing ball, me and my team gonna get the scoring, because we're talking about competition. We're not talking about violence, all right? Ninjas, these are raps, okay? They can take it up with the ball heads inside. The heckler is a firearm, right? So this is the raps and the lyrics and the willingness to battle in a competition, street or otherwise. Okay, so now Dody takes over, and his flow on this, he's so in pocket on this beat, really killed the flow on this. This was yet another impressive feature on this album. So he goes, eeny, meeny, mighty, mo, I'm trying to tag a ninja toe. I'm aggressive on beat and real life, ninjas know. A, tatted up my body, it depend level 4. A, I sharpened up a knife and I came home to a blow. Okay, so I'm explaining those right quick. The last 2 lines. Level 4 is a type of tattoo. So if the tattoo is more like intense and detailed in design, it's level 4. Sharpened up a knife and came home to a blow. If you from the hood, that's self-explanatory. Then he continues, my B get to tweaking like she playing with her nose. Now, you know, you play with your nose when you tweaking on that powder. Y'all know what that means. Lil Brody about to crash. Y'all man gonna be on go. Again, staying with the theme of being ready for action. I'm a different type of trophy baby girl, rose gold. Me and Dot get to slide and put him in a chokehold. Hey, I jumped out that pan, then I jumped in a Ghost. Now, Ghost, of course, is Rolls Royce. And jumped out that pan, jumped out the frying pan, the hood, so to speak, right? Then I'm a hush type of ninja, see my face, then he froze. All that ish, he was talking, found out he not that bold. Okay, ish, like 40, that's a dub, let's add it up, baby. Got back, can you do it? Can you back it up? Kick, flip a ninja, I got tech decks. And it ain't ish for me to call and get your chin checked, tell him Dody did that. Now, most of that is self-explanatory if you're from the hood. This is not, I'm not trying to teach people how to understand black slang all the way, but this is just a lyrics explained. So most of us understand what Dody was saying in those bars. I'm just excited I was able to keep it clean. All right, so that is the lyrics explained for Hey Now. I'm sure that you all are gonna tell me what I missed. So let me know in the comments what you took from the bars, anything maybe you saw differently also in the bars. Again, be respectful, all right? Now I tried to make it obvious that I skipped over any kind of indicting evidential references, okay? And yes, I just made up that word, okay? This is going to be on the internet, and if you don't understand that, then this is probably not the channel for you, and you need to go watch DJ Vlad. DJ Vlad is perfect for you, trust me. Go over and watch DJ Vlad. That's where you need to be. Okay, so anyway, man, thank y'all for watching as always. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, hit the notification bell, share the video, tell a friend and tell a friend. Thank y'all for watching as always. I know this was kind of long, but that's what it took, and we out.